Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Our goal here is to help us appreciate how understanding the self in relation to others is important in the planning of your NSTP projects. Reflect on the title again. Sinasabi natin dito na ang pag-unawa sa sarili at iba ay magkaugnay at hindi hiwalay na proseso. Before we begin, let me share with you a few things about me. I am Don Clemente. I am a professor at the Department of Psychology in UP Diliman. I teach undergraduate and graduate courses on Sikolohiyang Pilipino. I am also an alumnus and I used to be the advisor of the student organization UP Bukluran sa Sikolohiyang Pilipino or UP Buklod-Isip. I am also a former president of the Pambansang Samahan sa Sikolohiyang Pilipino. As you probably have observed, I think I know a thing or two about Sikolohiyang Pilipino or SP. Without going into too much detail, let me share with you SP's appeal and what we may get from taking on this perspective. I am fascinated by Sikolohiyang Pilipino or SP because it reminds me that one of our goals is to work toward reducing oppression and advocating for a socially just world. It is also a reminder that what we know should be useful. A lot of people are experiencing problems of living, and we can transform what we know into acts of service and engagement. We're giving our knowledge away through education, training, and shaping public policy. Now, does that sound familiar? I think it does sound like what you aim to do here in NSTP. You will develop knowledge products, literacy and numeracy training, and other activities, among others, that will have a transformative impact. That is, and this is my first takeaway for you, we need to use what we know from this course and your all other courses combined to become social change agents. So now, let's dive a bit deeper into our topic. Let's start with a quick question for you to reflect on. Okay, ready? Sige. So sa mga nanonood nito, meron ba sa inyong hindi tao? Okay, I'll give you some time to think about it. You might pause. If you need to pause this video to think about your answer. Okay, meron na bang sagot? Are you sure? As in, sure na ba na tao nga kayo? Okay? Sige. So I think we can all agree on this fact. Yung susunod na tanong ay baka mas challenging. Alam ba ninyo kung paano tratuhin ang inyong kapwa-tao? Again, alam ba ninyo kung paano tratuhin ang inyong kapwa-tao? Halimbawa, let's read this quote from former Senator, one-time presidential candidate and boxing superstar, Manny Pacquiao. Naalala nyo ba na sinabi niya to? Common sense lang. Makakakita ka ba ng any animals na lalaki sa lalaki o babae sa babae? Mas mabuti pa yung hayop marunong kumilala kung lalaki o lalaki, babae, o diba? Ngayon, kung lalaki sa lalaki o babae sa babae, mas masahol sa hayop ang tao. To which we say, yeah, common sense. And actually, according to data, may same-sex penguins. So meron kang makikita na lalaki sa lalaki o babae sa babae na animals. But, that's besides the point. Itong ganitong outright denial and degrading of a human experience, just witnessed, ganito ba ang tamang paraan ng pagtrato ng mga tao? Yung ganitong verbal insult ay isang halimbawa ng tinatawag nating dehumanization. Okay? Look at the word, dehumanization. It's basically a stripping off of one's humanity. Hornedo refers to this as pagmumura. Kasi ano ba yung mura? Diba kapag mura yung isang bagay, mababa yung value. So therefore, kapag minura mo yung isang tao, ibinababa mo ang value niya. Kaya pansinin natin yung iba't ibang paraan natin ng pagmumura. How do we deny humanity in a person? For one, we liken them to waste products or certain types of animals. Hindi ka tao, ahas ka. Or we strip them of qualities that make us uniquely human, like morality and reason. Hindi ka tao, tanga ka. Ganito ba natin dapat tratuhin ang tao? Sa inyong palagay, ano yung kabaliktaran ng pagmumura? Okay. So again, ayon kay Hernedo, yung kabaliktaran ng pagmumura, yung dapat ginagawa natin sa isang tao. Kasi ang tao, minamahal. Kasi ano ba yung mahal? Di ba kapag mahal yung isang bagay o gamit, mataas yung value? At ano ba yung ginagawa natin sa mga gamit na mahal? And therefore, that also applies to people. No? Kapag mahal, inaalagaan, iniingatan, mas pinapahalagahan para lalo pang tumaas yung value. Kaya kung kayo tinanong nung una kung naniniwala ba kayo na tao kayo, kasi what does it mean to be human? You know, there are many ways to answer this existential question. Pero para sa ama ng Sikolohiyang Pilipino na si Dr. Virgilio Enriquez, to be human is to be humane, such that you cease to be human if you are inhumane. Ang tao ay nagpapakatao. At dyan umiikot ang teorya ni Dr. Enriquez ng pakikipagkapwa. Narinig niyo na ba yung teoryang ito? Pangunahing tanong niya, paano ba natin tatratuhin ang bawat isa bilang tao? Crucial sa sagot ang understanding the self in relation to others. Again, our emphasis is on self in relation to others. Para kay Dr. Enriquez, kapag ni-recognize natin ang bawat isa bilang kapwa-tao, there is a recognition of shared identity. Ang sarili, the self, at ang iba, other, ay hanggat maaari hindi magkahiwalay. In other words, bahagi ng sarili ang iba sa akin. So bahagi ng self ang other, hindi ka o kayo iba sa akin. Again, there is a sense of identification with an other. Pero paano tayo nakaka-identify sa iba? Iba nga siya. Diba? When we say na nakaka-identify tayo sa isang tao, there is an acknowledgement that you and I share something in common. Ano ba ang pagkakapareho nating lahat? Bakit tayo nakaka-identify sa isa't isa? Halimbawa, isipin mo yung crush mo at yung kaaway mo. Ano ang pagkakapareho ninyong lahat? Would you like to guess? Again, if you'd like, you can pause this video to think about it some more, but I would imagine alam na ninyo yung sagot. Ano yung sagot? Okay, correct. Correct. Narinig. Okay. Nakaka-identify tayo dapat sa isa't isa kasi pareho tayong tao. Remember our earlier definition of a sense of kapwa? We share a common humanity. At bilang tao, madami tayong similar experiences. At kapag madami tayong pinagsasaluhan, marami tayong sinashare, mas naiintindihan natin ang bawat isa. Halimbawa, despite our many differences as humans, we all tend to enjoy the following: equal rights and access to resources, freedom, recognition, acceptance, and celebration of diversity. Bilang tao, alam natin ang pakiramdam na mawalan nito, diba? Kaya bakit natin siya i-deny sa iba? Tao rin naman sila. So if we enjoy these things, then isn't it just the right thing to do for other people to enjoy them as well? So to recap, and this is my second takeaway for you, to have a sense of kapwa is to acknowledge the other as a fellow human being. But why is this important? Ayon sa teoryang ito, kapag na-recognize mo ang isang tao bilang tao, Ang dapat consequence nun ay tatratuhin mo siya bilang kapwa-tao. Tatratuhin mo siya na pareho kayong tao. And what are some of these behaviors ng pagtrato sa iba bilang kapwa-tao? Here are a few. When you take the perspective of others para mas maunawaan mo siya. When you respect the dignity of others and therefore hindi mo siya binabastos. When you treat the other as co-equal. Pareho tayong tao and therefore patas tayo sa maraming bagay tulad halimbawa ng pagkakaroon ng mga karapatan at ng iba't ibang mga freedoms. No? Hanggat maaari, we avoid harm or hurt. No? Alam natin yung pakiramdam ng nasasaktan, iniiwasan natin yun para sa kapwa-tao natin. No? And basically, any other behavior that is the antithesis of dehumanization. So I guess ang next question ay, how is this even related to your NSTP experience? Right? So sa aking palagay, your NSTP project aims to activate this sense of kapwa. Your NSTP project is a relationship-building project with the aim of increasing the level of sharedness with those we consider others. Okay? Now, we cannot claim to fully understand or know our community partners. But we start with the basics. Alam natin na ang mga tao, hindi nila deserve ma-oppress. At siguro, tayo, siguro na rin dahil sa estado natin sa buhay, ay nasa posisyon para kahit paano, bawasan yung hirap na nararanasan ng iba. We cannot completely be one with our partners in such a short period of time, but we can be their allies. Now, NSTP is an invitation to become a social change agent through allyship. Now, through our small projects, we will try to support and advocate for oppressed populations. So for your projects, you can start with identifying inhumane experiences that you want to address. Ask yourself, what can we do so more people can enjoy equal rights and access to resources? What can we do so more people will enjoy freedom? What can we do so more people will enjoy recognition, acceptance, and celebration of diversity? All of these things that you see on your slide, among many other things, should be enjoyed by any human being or kapwa-tao. Now, I cannot exactly offer concrete suggestions on what NSTP projects you can embark on. I am of the belief that you can start with something personal to you, and that part of the process is identifying what is important to your community partners. However, let me offer you this theory of change. Meaning, ano ba ang dapat isaalang-alang para mangyari ang pagbabagong hinahangad natin? As a general principle, and as you can see on your slide, yung level ng interaction ninyo with your partners na present sa programang paplanuhin ninyo will determine the degree of sharedness and closeness with your partners. And therefore, itong degree of sharedness and closeness with your partners will probably influence ang inyong views of service, views of self and others, and views of response to social issues. Now, I would suggest that you pause this video if you like so you can sort of digest this diagram even more. No, but the next slide will try to concretize and unpack what you see in your screen. Again, this is a suggested theory of change, which means it's very important to consider yung nasa gitna ng ating modelo, no? Which is considering the degree of sharedness and closeness that you want to achieve with your partner. Okay? So, again, let's try to concretize. Sa pinakataas ng table na ito, ang ilan sa mga klase ng programa na pwede ninyong gawin. No? Halimbawa, may parang exposure trip feels itong pagmamasid. No? May parang immersion feels itong pakikipanuluyan o pagdalaw-dalaw. At may parang community feels o pakikisangkot sa komunidad. Ideally, itong nakabilog ang klase ng mga proyektong inyong gagawin. Bakit? Kasi kapag may community engagement or partnership, we will assume na mas mataas ang degree of sharedness and closeness, with your partners. Mas nakilala nyo sila, mas nakilala nila kayo. At dahil dito, kung babalik natin yung ating model, it will probably affect yung views niyo dito sa nakikita niyo sa ibang bahagi ng ating table. Dahil mataas na yung degree of sharedness and closeness, ang tingin niyo sa service ay hindi charity. Tipong, ayan, nagbigay kami ng goods, okay na. Ang service becomes issue-based dahil it ultimately leads to social justice. Ang tingin niyo naman sa community o sa others o sa inyong partners ay hindi biktima. Ay, kawawa naman sila. No? We understand and we know them as partners for change. Ibig sabihin, maalam sila sa karanasan nila at maalam din sila sa mga kakayahan para matugunan ang mga problema nila. Ang tingin niyo sa mga sarili, hindi lang basta powerful at empowered, eto kami, alam namin lahat, papasok kami sa community ninyo para tugunan ang lahat ng mga problema ninyo. You understand and know yourself as a partner for change. And lastly, in responding to issues, you don't just work as if they don't exist. You don't just work over them, but you work with them. Nabagit na natin kanina, sila ang may alam ng problema, posibleng sila rin ang may alam ng solusyon, at nandun tayo to work with them to facilitate this process of change. So in sum, when you understand that you are related to another, hindi tayo iba sa isa't isa dahil pareho tayong tao, we are fully aware of how it feels to be treated humanely. In your project, try to always ask, how can you make others feel more like kapwa-tao? How can they lead more humane lives? And when we understand our relationship with others, we become more sensitive on how best to work with them. Ideally, we are aiming for NSTP to be a transformative process for you, but more so for your community partners. So lastly, this section is for handlers of NSTP courses. Let me share with you some activities that you can do in class in relation to this topic. So first, to help kick off the discussion on shared humanity, you can ask your students to watch this super short 7-minute YouTube video by 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿. After watching, you can simply ask your students to share their most important takeaway, and then you can easily connect the discussion to treating others as kapwa-tao. Second, you can also do this quick check-in, which is a modification of privilege exercise. I call it, ano ang laman ng bag mo? You can go through the items flashed on the screen. We can share with you the slide, or you can probably pause this video if you like. So I think there are 6 items that we usually use here. Okay. This, and this. 7 items that you can use. You can go through the items flashed on the screen, and students can give themselves 1 point if the statement is something that they have in their bags, metaphorically. You can ask students how that short exercise made them feel. What were some thoughts that were running through their minds while going through the statements and giving themselves points if they have them in their bag? Then they can do a quick pair and share on things that they enjoy or don't enjoy, and what it means for others who don't have anything at all in their bags. Finally, I would strongly suggest a reflection exercise after project completion. You can see some suggested questions on your screen. This can be in the form of a final ritual in class. It can be something that they can post in their learning management systems, or a short reflection paper. I think the important part here is that students can see for themselves that what they are learning in class, not just in NSTP, but in their other classes as well, are something that they can see in action and have some utility to create better spaces for others. In case you have questions or feedback on this presentation, my email is flashed on your screen. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something from this video. Bye, everybody.